Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Wetzel, and I channel information from the Akashic Records. And we're at the end of May, going into June. And so I kind of wanted to ask the Akashic Records, what does June have in store for us? Um, May has been interesting, and what I'm hearing is that May was the month for the heart to open. But what we also want you to recognize is that it's the time to heal. We also want you to understand that many of you that have been on the healing journey are finding that you're recognizing that the old wounds, the battle scars, are healing, and you're beginning to see a transformation. We also want you to recognize that May served a purpose for all human beings that are walking upon the earth to see themselves in a different light and to recognize that they are much more powerful than that they have given themselves credit for. We also want you to understand that the human race is elevating, and the consciousness that is coming forward is beginning to ring true with those that are not fully aware of their capabilities and the understanding of what is transitioning. But we also want you to recognize that the chaos and the upheaval that is currently occurring is needed in order for the evolution. We want you to see that June is bringing around a new perspective. The energy is going to be of a higher quality frequency than what it has been in the past. You'll begin to recognize that as the energy shift is beginning to occur at a higher level, the energy input within human beings are beginning to be vibrating at a different level of consciousness. We also want you to recognize that the human and the human structure is beginning to see with different eyes. They are beginning to see beneath the surface of other humans and going more directly to the heart and the capacity of who others are, and seeing the individuals more from a soul level and understanding that chaos and destruction is mandatory in order to see the truth of all beings. We want you to recognize that the blinders are being removed and the human race is being shaken up as more and more is being presented to individuals and to humans for them to see the truth of what is and the actions that are being taken, and the motivation behind the action is becoming more apparent. We want you to see that this is an important shift for humans to see and recognize in one another, so that they can see more clearly the path that they are meant to follow and not the path that others have laid before them. We also want you to see that this is extremely important for human growth and for each human to become more independent and one within themselves and who they are meant to be, more in coincidence. That's their word, coinciding with the soul's knowledge and wisdom. But what we also want you to see is that you are much more than what you've given yourself credit for as human beings. The June energy is shedding new light, and it is pulling away the old veil. You will soon begin to see that your physical body is shifting in an energetic way to allow more of your natural gifts to come forward. Those that are willing and have the ability to recognize will find themselves becoming more intuitive. You will also begin to recognize that your intuitiveness is becoming more of a way of living and less reliant upon the mind structure and the old belief systems. We also want you to see that the energy in the month of June is creating havoc amongst those that are fighting the hardest to control and to pull humanity's love and care away. So basically what I'm seeing is that the people that are causing the most harm to other human beings, the ones that are trying to control, the ones that are greedy, the ones that are trying to fight for power, are going to start finding themselves in a place of struggling. and recognizing that it's not as easy as they thought that it would be, that there's different forces at play now than what there was 6 months ago. And there's more love and care and compassion that's coming forward for humans than what appeared to be 6 months ago. And there's so what we want you to understand is that you're moving forward in a new light, and you're beginning to recognize that those around you that are suffering within their own turmoil are going to become more aware of who and what they've created in order to gain what they felt was power, and that they will begin to tumble. And I'm seeing people fall down, rolling down hills. We also want you to understand that this shift is occurring within all constructs of the world and of human nature. We want you to see that there is no one that will be immune to this form of energy. And that what you will begin to see and recognize is that not only is your energy and your perception of what you thought should be shifting and changing from your mind to become more in alignment with your heart, you'll begin to see how this is unfolding around you, even when others don't recognize it. The powers and the forces are coming to the surface that will help the earthly construct to begin to start fighting back the evil and the darkness. And what we want you to see is that the elementals are arising from the earth's core, and they are showing and fighting for the human nature in a way that they haven't ever done before. This is interesting because what I'm seeing, again, I don't think that I've ever talked about the elementals before, but the earth beings is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing all these earth energies and beautiful earth beings that have supported the earth and supported us as humans from beneath the surface are rising to the surface. And I'm seeing it's like the earth is covered with these little, they actually look like little cherubs, but they're earth beings. They're not angels. And they're these beautiful little beings with bows and arrows. And they have the bow pulled, and they're ready to fight. And they're fighting for humanity. And what we want you to see is that this energy that the earth is fighting for is the earth that all of the universe is fighting for. We want you to see that there is no one that's alone on this earth or at this particular time, and that all of the elementals and all of the earth beings are being supported by not only the heavens above, but in every aspect of consciousness. The fight has already begun, but the battle has not been won. We also want you to understand that humanity is shifting again from the core of the earth, from the inside to the outside. And at this particular time, the earth beings are coming to the surface to fight for humans and to fight for the rights of love and equality. And this is what's happening on a level of understanding that not all can see. But those of you that are in tune with this particular form of nature will begin to see more and more of the elementals coming to the surface and being able to be seen in a way that they haven't been seen before. Okay, so June's going to be interesting. I'm also seeing the galactic beings are coming in larger numbers, that they haven't stopped. They're not all here yet. They're coming too. So we have these beautiful little elemental beings that are coming up from the earth, and then I'm seeing the galactic beings that are coming down from the surface, and they are all ready to fight. And they're fighting for the rights of humanity to love one another and to stop the hate. And so what we want you to see is that although many humans feel the need to fight, we are asking you to recognize that the heart is of the core to all of the answers. We're wanting you to find the love that resides within your own physical being so that you can see that you can hug one another instead of drawing the guns. And this is what we want you to understand, is that the elemental beings are surrounding the earth in a way that they are pushing down or covering up the hatred and the anger and the ill will, and they are allowing the love consciousness and the higher vibrational energy of love to come more in full force. And so what I'm seeing is something like a big heavy blanket, maybe like a big thick quilt, and these little beautiful little elemental beings are throwing the blanket on all of the individuals that are being mean, that are of a negative energy, or that is creating more hatred and anger. And I'm seeing them throw these blankets on these people, and they're holding them down. And this beautiful love light is coming up around them, and all these beautiful human beings are being engulfed in this beautiful light, and they're all raising above the surface, like there's space between the earth and these beautiful individuals' feet. And they're saying the energy is rising so that no humans will fall down if they choose to stand in this love. And this is what we want you to see. We are burying, or we're covering up, the old heavy energy that is no longer needed. And it will be the purpose of the human to stand in the love and the light in order to amplify and to create more of this vibrational energy and frequency. And so this is up to you. So what they're giving us the opportunity to do is, once again, and it's what they've been saying for years, the change has to happen within each one of us. And I have to go inward and find the truth of who I am as a human being. Find that love energy, find this connection with my soul energy, and understand that I am the purest capacity of love. And I can stand in this place of oneness, wholeness, and completeness. And I do not have to integrate with the heavy dark energy that is creating the chaos. And so what we want you to see is that if every individual goes within themselves and sees the truth of who they are, they will begin to see others in the same light. And this is the battle to be won. The battle to be won is the understanding that as each individual stands upon the earth, they are all of the creation of us. Every individual and human that is living and existing upon the earth is of the utmost form of love, truth, honesty, and reliability. There are no failures that are walking upon the earth. They are all living the journey or the path that their soul has agreed to. And although this is not always understood, we understand it. And what we want you to do as the individual that is hearing this message is to find the truest capacity of who you are and stand in the love that we have given you. You are one with all things. If you continue to hold others accountable for their actions in a way that is destructful, then you'll begin to see that you are no longer healing the earth, but harming it. So what we want you to understand is that although this feels like a complicated story in the human mind, because the human mind feels that a battle should be continued to be fought. But what we also want you to understand is that the battle is shifting and taking a turn into the love light, not to the fierceness and the anger. And this is what we want you to understand. The battle will be won when all are standing in the same vibrational frequency that is that of love. June is an interesting month, as it is a transition period for many of the humans to begin to recognize that this is the truth. And so what we want you all to understand is that if you have an open mind and you create an openness in your heart and you truly recognize that you are all one and that you can communicate with all things, then you'll begin to see how your life is shifting and changing into a more harmonious aspect, and that you are the fullest component of the earth beneath you and the stars above you. And this is what we want you to understand. Everything is shifting and changing in a way that humans are going to begin to see each other in a way of love and light. And this is what we want you to hear. The human mind is so stuck or programmed to believe that they can only hate and that they can only have ill will towards one another, that the deprogramming is hard to implement. But we also want you to understand that it is in place and it is unfolding. But once again, we simply ask you to begin with your own self-knowledge and recognize that you have to be the beginning point for others to see the love and the light that we speak of. And this is the beginning. It's the beginning of the shift of being able to see and recognize the occurrences that are occurring. Recognize that June of 2025 is a turning point or a shifting and an elevation in consciousness to a magnitude that it can be measured. And this is what's coming. So as I'm listening to this message, I hope that, we all understand that there's so much craziness that's going on right now. And there's a lot of people that are in a lot of turmoil because of choices and decisions that other people have made. What's happening is that the truth is being revealed. And what is important for all of us to understand is that this craziness and chaos is coming to the surface so that we can see it. It's not going to be hidden under the blankets anymore. It's being seen and it's being revealed so that we can see how people are treating us, how somebody that is really in that power structure and wants to control me is showing that light. All of this darkness, and I don't really like the word darkness, but all of the control that is happening is coming to the surface, and it's showing us who's implementing this heavy dark energy, and then what are we going to do about it? But we can't the solution is not treating the people the same way that they're treating us, because that's the cycle, and that's what happens. If we don't break that pattern, then we can't stop it from continuing on into the future. Now, so with that being said, it's like, okay, well, how are we going to stop this pattern of control? And I'm hearing the word abuse, but the more that we stand in our love light, the more that we can stand in love and compassion and be able to see and understand that this person is doing this because it's their soul's contract, it's the soul's agreement, and they are showing me what could be or what has always been, and it's time for me to recognize that I need to shift my way of seeing myself and being able to see others in that light. And the more that I work on myself and find my own love, it is going to be contagious to those around me. And so if we continue to grow and we grow in numbers of the love light, then again, like what they were talking about, the elementals throwing the blanket over the individuals that are causing so much pain and suffering, then at that point, they're going to become extinguished. And what I'm seeing is that they're turning into dust. But we have to stand in our truth to be able to fight the light in the dark is what I'm seeing. And we've heard these stories before, the light fighting the dark energy, and the light is meant to win. The light is going to overshadow the dark energy, but we have to find it within ourselves first. And if we can't find it in ourselves, then we're still in that dark energy. We have to rise above it. Now, with all that being said, are we going to be able to shift and turn around what has come to the surface in different forms of abusive behavior or controlling one another in that form? It will, because it's going to take away that power, that what people do to me how people treat me will no longer have an effect on me. And that's going to, and it's like what I'm hearing is the bully in the playground. When you stop reacting to the actions, then the bully doesn't have any power anymore. And that's what we're moving into. Now, I also want to make sure that everybody understands that, we have a global situation where there's a lot of control that's trying to be had. I'm not talking only about the wars, the control over one another in a country way. It's not only that. It is also the person that may be in an abusive relationship with their partner. It may be a child that's in an abusive relationship with a parent. It may be a situation at work where, the work environment is taking advantage of the employees. So when I'm talking about this, you have to look at it on a huge scale. It is not just the world, the way that so-and-so is fighting this war to take over another country. It's not just that, it's our everyday lives. And if we don't start changing our everyday lives on the everyday level, then this energy isn't going to change. And this is what's being said, is that we have to start with ourselves. We have to start with what's closest to us. And then the more that we can stand up and push against this dark, heavy energy, then at that point, that dark, heavy energy is going to lose control. And that's what this is all about. We might not be able to jump in and change the world today, but I can certainly change myself, and I can start changing my own environment. The way that I see myself and the way that I see others starts with me, and it may be a one-on-one situation. So be sure and understand that we have a support system around us, because apparently the earth beings are coming up to the surface to help us fight for ourselves. So, which is saying that if I'm struggling in an abusive relationship, my little earth beings are coming up to help me fight that and give me the strength to be able to move away from that behavior and find that love in me. This is what's shifting and changing. And so June is going to be a powerful month because this energy is coming to the surface. I don't know what it's going to look like or how it's going to unfold, but the main thing is to focus on me. The main thing is to find my strength and my power and love myself fully and completely. And once I begin to do that, then everything else is going to change. So that's going to be the message for June. And thank you guys for listening to me. If you guys are interested in a private session, you'll see my website information, how to schedule a session in the video description. And also, if you haven't jumped over to listen to any of my podcast, there's a whole bunch of information about how to get self-help in ways that are more in alignment with the way that we all think. So jump over there to the podcast and take a listen, and hopefully you'll find some resources that will be helpful for you to find your own strength. And thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next month.